29 of the Dirt on Gardening podcast, the podcast where we answer all of your gardening questions. What's up, Derek?
The sky if it don't fall, man. You know, it's ice cold out yonder. So I'm feeling pretty good outside of that. How is you?
I am good. I just got back from Mexico yesterday. It's always bittersweet to leave Mexico, but I am here in the moderate cold compared to Mexico, but it is what it is.
Wow. That's amazing. So what you do out yonder?
It was my wife's birthday, so we were down there for her birthday. Thank you. We were down there for her birthday. We were only there for 4 days, kind of a quick in and out. But it's always a pleasure being down there. I got to do some gardening. I got to graft a mango tree. I grafted my grafts on my lime tree are working because my lime tree was not producing any fruit. And I grafted 2 orange branches onto it. And now it is flowering for the first time. So, wow. Super excited about that.
We love to see it. So then that is beautiful.
Yeah. So what's going on there? What's new with you?
This weekend I went to the Moonlight in the Garden party at the J.C. Ralston Arboretum in Raleigh. And it is a beautiful experience, surreal, in fact, to be able to go through a botanical garden at night, right? And to walk around. They got camp. They had fire pits, multiple fire pits. I made me a s'mores or 2, had some apple cider, walked around seeing all the plants at night, some art. I love to look at a little bit of art. And then I have a cousin who's an artiste, and they had an iron pour in Durham. So I was all over the place. And I came out there to see them pour all that hot molten metal. It has nothing to do with plants, but it was so beautiful watching all the fire and the lava and everything. It was amazing.
So that's awesome.
I had a beautiful weekend.
Now, I can't do s'mores because marshmallows. I just can't do marshmallows.
You don't eat marshmallows?
I stopped eating marshmallows when I was probably 9 years old. It was just like marshmallows and cotton candy. Those were 2 things I stopped, I think at the same time. And it's not that I don't like junk food. I do like a lot of junk. But those 2 things are just 2 things that just don't, I can't eat them.
Wow. Every day, every week I learn a new bit of lore about you. And I'm just like, I don't even know at this point because you just don't eat so much. But we're not here to talk about that.
Yes, sir. Well, someone had a question already. They had a question about the graft. I mentioned the graft on the orange tree. Now, a lot of times when you have a fruit tree that's not fruiting, if you graft a fruiting tree onto it, whether that graft takes or not, sometimes it can stimulate the whole tree to fruit. I've seen that happen with multiple different trees. I've had that lime tree for about a year, no fruit, no nothing. I grafted onto it an orange, and the grafts are, barely pushing out, but the tree has its first flower on it. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I feel like that seems to be a pattern. When I have especially stubborn seedlings that won't fruit, a lot of times grafting onto them is sort of the ticket that makes it go.
Oh, I wonder if that's a hormonal thing. Like if there was just some series of hormonal interactions that just tell it like flower, fruit, we gotta survive, set fruit. I wonder if that's what happened.
Right. So it could be the stress response, right? But I think that there's something about, I think there's some sort of hormone transfer between the scion and the tree. I think that it's a fruiting piece of wood attached to this tree now. And I feel like for some reason, there's a little give and take in there and it stimulates the rest of the tree to fruit.
I could do that. I could see that happening.
Yeah. Duster asked if a cayenne, actually today we're going to talk about indoor gardening and house plants and all the things because a lot of the country right now is being pushed inside. Can you bring in a cayenne pepper plant and keep producing through the winter?
If you have the finances and the extravagance to pay for that, then yes. And when I say that, I'm talking about grow lights. I'm talking about heating mats. I'm talking about temperatures that need to be above the 70s in Fahrenheit, which is the 20s in centigrade. So like you need to be able to keep that plant in conditions that would mimic the outdoors, as well as remember that because it's not like being pollinated outdoors, you would need to hand pollinate. So I know tomatoes, you can do a shake. I feel like you can do a similar concept with bell peppers, but you would not hurt to have like a little paintbrush and go for what you know. But it takes more energy than I think most people would be willing to do, like power and like effort.
Right.
So I would just say, just wait until the next year. Hold on, save them seeds and wait till the next year.
Or you know, you can overwinter them and not really be worried about whether they produce or not as a house plant, and they don't need to have like that much light or that much warmth. Only if you're trying to like get them to be productive and still producing all year, then you need all those things. But if you just want to like sort of keep it alive so you can plant it the next spring and have it start, you know, full out next spring, then you can do that. I would give it a hard prune. I have some peppers I'm overwintering in my grow tent right now. And actually, they're a couple years old now. They've been through a couple winters.
We love to see it.
Laura was saying, I was talking about grafting mangoes. Best time is early spring, right? Actually, nurseries here in Florida, they do most of their grafting in the winter. Because if you're in a place where you can grow mangoes, cold is not really much of an issue. I always say you can graft anytime your tree is not dormant. And mango trees don't go dormant. So you can graft right now. Like I graft right now. Yeah, I was in Mexico yesterday. I grafted a mango tree the day before, I think. Yeah.
So, we love it.
Yeah. So don't worry about that. You can graft all year round. If you can grow a mango tree, you can graft year round there. And that's when a lot of the nurseries join.
We love to see it. So we know that we are in the fall to winter season, because I don't think winter has truly got here yet, but winter is coming, right? So with that being said, party people, as you are considering your indoor gardens, there is so much you can do. And I'm not just talking houseplants, but there is so much you can do to get ready for your fall seasons or your spring seasons as it comes. Now, all of us can't be like Andre and Gray and have at least 2,000 acres of property, right? All of us can't be like them. But what we can do is utilize our spaces to get what we want. So one thing, and I want us to think about some things that we can do indoor that can set us up for success in our gardening futures. One thing that I used to love to do is to stock up on seeds. I would stock up on seeds in the off season. Now, the off seasons, why would I do that? I can get so many things for cheap, right? People have things that they're giving away that I can sow now. People have things that they want me to sow later, right? Seeds are trying to be thrown away. I get them and keep them, and I put them into a cool, dark area. So that way, when it comes springtime, right, I'm already sawed up for the future. In addition to, I start seeds inside. I got a seedling in my bedroom I won't show, but I started that in order to be able to take it outside. There are times where we can do that too. What about you, Andre? He must be talking about me.
Well, also, you know, it's not just the seeds this time of year, all your gardening supplies, right? Gardening tools. A lot of that stuff is on sale. You go to your big box stores, they still have it on the floor, which is stuff they put away. A lot of times it's for sale, it's in the bargain bin. So this is a great time to stock up on things like your gardening gloves, your gardening tools. Great time to go to the box stores and get your stuff. Even the dollar stores. You'd be amazed how much good gardening stuff you can get from dollar stores for a fraction of the cost.
A fraction, like, and things you wouldn't, like garden tools, if that's what you can afford, get it, right? But knee pads, you don't have to get the ones that are $40. You can get the $5 ones. They still will help your knees. You can get cloches to be able to protect your plants. You can be able to get so many different things. Cloches, I think that's what the word is. CL, it's like a little barrier, a little plastic dome.
Okay.
Cloches. You know,
I've never heard that word before.
You know, I might be mispronouncing it. Who knows? I'm sorry. But you get you a cloche, you put that over top of your plants, and it'll save them from these frosty events that we have going on, right? For some of your tender plants, or just in general, if you have a plant that may be getting bothered or run through by somebody's pest, right? you can end up having those to protect you. There are so many good things. And fertilizers you can get from the Dollar Tree, from the Dollar General, from the Family Dollar, and they work just as well as the stuff you would get from any other location.
Okay, well, Duster also has another question. He wants to know, how many years will the peppers live? What's the lifespan of a pepper?
You know, I feel like most people typically treat them as a perennial, but I do remember seeing something about making them like an ever-living plant with pruning and basically protecting them from like hard frosts. So I feel like if you're able to keep them up, like you can keep them longer than most people would envision. Similar to collards. Like I used to have collard plants on my patio that I had for like 4 years. Like collard plants, literally the same plant, growing for me year to year, 4 years. And its stem just got woodier and woodier as it went through. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think peppers could probably last you about 5 years. I think that at some point that the returns are going to start to diminish. But I think you could probably get 5 years if you do things right. You can get 5 years out of a pepper. I don't know whether it's going to be worth the squeeze or not. That's different. Laura says hers is going on 3 years. I know I have some that are 1, 2. This spring will be their 3rd season.
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's see. Oh, speaking of seasons, I know for a lot of us it's not mosquito season. However, when it is mosquito season, Sonia's bug spray is the best thing you can use. It's all natural, doesn't feel like bug spray, it feels like lotion, and it smells amazing. This stuff is great. It's also a great afterbite. I know here in Florida, even when it's cold like this, all it takes is one day, like in the 70s or 80s, and bam, mosquitoes just wake up and they're hungry because they've been sleeping. But this stuff is great. You can get it on soniasbugspray.com. It's also available on TikTok. This is the only bug spray I use. I just ordered 3 new bottles. I brought one down to Mexico, and the rest of them are here.
We love to see it. So those of you on the YouTube, you can see the banner below to get you some at soniasbugspray.com. Sonia's Bug Spray with an I.com.
All right. So what is the house plant that you think is the one that most people should be growing, or the easiest house plant for people to grow? Because a lot of people try to grow plants, and so for some people it's hard.
It's hard for some people. So when you're growing houseplants, I loathe the question of which ones are the easy ones, because what's easy for me is hard for you.
Is that a word?
Yeah, loathe. Loath.
I think loach.
Y'all try to get me with close, okay, but y'all ain't gonna get me with that one. That's a word. Loath.
I'm pretty sure you said loach. I'm pretty sure you said loach.
I said loath. That every TH. I may have had a speech impediment as a child. Y'all ain't gonna keep getting country on me. See, he thinks because Gray ain't here, he can go ahead and get me with his sly Canadian way.
Hold on. So Planton says it's cloche, and it's a garden protective thing.
Yes.
There. Okay, cloche.
Cloche. I was probably pronouncing that H a little hard, but it's okay. I pronounce all the letters in the word of the word. So when it comes to like the easiest house plant, what's easy for me can be difficult for you. So what do I truly mean by that? When it comes to cacti and succulents, the plants that you don't have to really water a lot, you just give them a little bit of water here and there. They are easy for a lot of you all, right? Because some of you are just like, I just want the plant. I don't want to touch it. I just want to remember it's there, water it every so often, right? But you can't take a pothos or a philodendron. Meanwhile, I have all types of aeroids, philodendron, monstera, pothos, water-loving plants in this apartment. I don't have that many succulents because I love watering. I love to water my plants, and I know that I shouldn't. So it just depends on your style. This is what I usually tell people. If you are a person that every time you see that plant, you're going to water it, then you should probably get a pothos because it can take it. You should probably get a trade scantia. Okay, it's the purple plant that is, I don't have one behind me. I do. Boop. It is this plant. We all know this plant has an alternative name. Okay, and this one's looking a little worse for wear, but this plant, purple inch queen. right? You get you one of those. Otherwise, if you're a person that's like, hey, I water my plants every 3 or 4 months, then you get you a succulent, you get you a Sansevieria, Naldracina, you get you an aloe, you get you some type of cactus or a Hoya, right? But or a coffee plant. Most people don't know you can do a coffee plant as a house plant.
Oh, coffee plants are beautiful plants too. I have one in the ground outside. They're beautiful plants. But I think for a lot of people, cactus are not super easy because a lot of people that want a plant are going to water the plant and they're going to over. I think overwatering is like for people that care about their plant. I think overwatering is the #1 killer of plants. Like I feel like people that don't care, then underwatering is the #1 killer. But for people that care, I think it's watering.
So I'm gonna tell you a secret. So I got my family. My family loves plants, but they love the concept of plants. They want the plant to look perfect at all times. So that's why I tell them you love the concept, but you don't really love, like you love it, but you love the concept. You just want something you can sit in a corner, okay, like Woody and Buzz Lightyear. You put it in the toy box, you pull it back out, it's perfect, right? You don't really want to water these plants. So then when I would come home, it used to be you quickly water these plants because they look bad, and I'm like, you ain't been watering these plants. Oh, the soil is so wet, though. Of course it is. You just watered it. I told you I was on the way 2 hours ago. In that 2 hours, you poured 10 gallons of water on this plant. Of course it's wet. The plant is drooping, though. All the leaves are dead. Like I know what the signs are. So there are some people, watering in general is a spectrum of people who love plants. There are people who love plants, and they're like, I am going to give this water whenever it looks terrible, or I'm just going to go ahead and overwater it. So that's part of that. So I know we have a question here. I seen you writing. We have a question from Pink Panther.
Go for it.
I'm about to. I'm feeling it today. You got a small section of a Hoya that's turned yellow. How can you fix it? I grow Hoyas, but I do not grow them well. So I'm not going to be able to help you. Andre, do you grow Hoyas?
I don't even know what a Hoya is.
A Hoya, let me get one real quick because I have a friend I'm going to direct them to who will be able to help them because she grows Hoyas.
Well, when Gray gets here, Gray definitely will know how to grow Hoya.
He would. I wish he was here.
He should be here any minute now, guys. Gray is coming. He's not skipping the show tonight. He's just running late. He had an emergency. He'll be here shortly.
He will be.
Laura asked, money tree, unbraided and grow some inside and some outside. It makes nuts. If you live in money trees make nuts?
That's not a Hoya either. I did not know that.
That's definitely news to me.
Okay. Ooh, so I don't have any Hoyas. It looks like they all died. So I can't even show you.
Let's table that question because when Gray gets here, Gray will answer that question about the Hoya with the yellow spot. Hold on, help is coming for that. Andre, what's your favorite fruit to grow? My favorite fruits to grow are probably bananas, pineapples, and mangoes.
Bananas, pineapple, and what?
Mangoes. Probably bananas and pineapples just because it's cool to me how they grow. I think it's just really cool how they grow. So those are two of my favorites. But mangoes, I just love growing mangoes. You know, that's my thing. If I had one specialty in the world, I would say it's growing mangoes.
Amen. And I'm a plant blurred grows them. So for Hoya
chestnut.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay. Malabar chestnut. Jen says, I have one Hoya, and that damn thing is a diva indoors. All right, so it sounds like Hoyas might be a little bit tricky. Hopefully, Gray will be here soon to explain. Malabar chestnut is is the nuts. I did not know that.
I didn't. Look at you teaching us.
All right. Rhonda said, I was thinking about getting pawpaws. I'm in zone 8B. Thoughts? I think you're in a perfect area for pawpaw. I'm in 10A, and pawpaws are a little bit too temperate for today. So I'm kind of right on the lower boundary where it can survive, but it doesn't really thrive here in my climate. But 8B, that should be like Pawpaw Central right there.
It should be because 8B is actually near me. So I am, I think, 8A now. So 8B may be Virginia, depending on what part.
But if you're 8A, 8B would be south of you.
8B would be south of me because we moved, because I used to be 7. I thought 8 was above me. I'm so confused.
No. I'm 10. I'm 10A.
How about that? So then 8B, I'm 8A. 8B is the other part of Carolina.
Yeah, probably right earlier.
That is so strange because 7, either way, at the end of the day, it would be a beautiful plant to grow. The fruit is delicious. I had it one time off of a tree that I saw the people pick, and we made ice cream, and it was amazing. You said you're in Texas, so we love it. In Texas especially, I feel like it would be dope. Let's all grow more pawpaws, everybody.
Yeah, I wish I could. I have 2 trees, but they kind of struggle a little bit. Hopefully the winter will be better for them than the summer because they really struggle in the summer. But I've had them in the ground for about 3 years now, and they're alive still. So we'll see.
Love to see it.
Thank you, Jen. Sonia said my favorite plant is growing right now is the Madagascar jewel. Are you familiar with the Madagascar jewel?
Y'all are naming a lot of houseplants. I don't know. See, I feel like if Gray was here, he would be like, yeah, I know what that is. It is Southern drawl.
He's like, I have 8 of them. I have 8 of them.
So that's a euphorbia. Yeah, I don't grow euphorbias. So, I don't grow a lot of euphorbia.
I just found out that we do have houseplants in this house.
You said what now?
I was gonna say I just found out that we do have houseplants in this house. I thought we had no houseplants in this house because I never see any. But there are a couple spots where there are a couple plants, like this in my bathroom, and right out here on a table, there's actually houseplants in there.
Wow. So how did you walk by these houseplants in your house and not know they were in there?
Well, because my wife is not a houseplant person, so I don't expect to see houseplants.
I guess. Well, who put them in there? Was it her?
Yeah, not me.
I was gonna say that's a good woman you got. So of course she put them in there. That's a good woman you got.
See, they have to be like sort of like part of the design. They have to be architecturally part of the design for them to go in here. Like there's not just a plant just sitting around. No, that's not gonna happen here. My wife's an interior designer, so everything's gonna be a certain way.
It's got to match.
Yeah. She would hate that word because match is not the objective of interior design. Right?
That's what they all say, and then it's like,
you're not trying to match things up.
That's what they all say, and this is why I don't do good with it. If you look close enough in the background of any of my videos, you see all types of random stuff. It's like PV's house in here. And I keep my blueberries outside. Now, I've not grown blueberries. I've helped to grow them. But it depends on where you are. Pink Panther, tell us where you are again. Did they say Texas? Is that the same person that was in Texas?
I'm not sure that was the same person in Texas.
Actually, yes, I'm in Texas. 8B, boom. Can they keep their blueberries outside, Andre?
I think you can. Yeah, my blueberries stay outside here. Blueberries are fairly cold tolerant, so they'll have their because I know people in New York that have blueberries outside in ground. So yeah, your blueberries will be perfectly fine in Texas. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, we had them here.
You do live there. How do you not see them?
He's like, if it doesn't give me food, I don't want it. That's what I do.
Literally, I have a blind spot for houseplants. I don't see them. Although I do have some pothos growing in my son's fish tank. His little freshwater tank, and I put pothos in there, and cuttings from pothos, and they have rooted all through the tank right now, and they're kind of just overhanging the edge.
I love it.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's probably beautiful.
It's a little soft. It's not that beautiful, but it's kind of a cool little project.
If I saw it, I would probably be like, that's amazing. It's so beautiful. Nature is messy. Nature is messy.
It's fortunate. I moved from the Pacific Northwest to Central Florida and new to growing in this climate. Can raspberries or goji berries be grown here? Yes, raspberries can be grown here, many different varieties. I'm in Central Florida, and goji berries as well. But if you've never had goji berries before, you should try them before you try to grow them because they are unpleasant at best.
Like the taste of them?
Yeah, they're not good.
Oh,
They're medicinal. I tried to grow them because the name sounds cool. It's exotic. And I grew them and I tasted them and then I just kind of neglected them and they're probably gone. I don't know. They could still be thriving somewhere in the yard, but I don't know what they are.
now see, I thought so you don't use them for any special recipes like steak and goji berry or chicken and goji berry. You just eat them medicinally?
Well, I even make like medicinal things with it, like syrups or jams, maybe even. But like a raw goji berry, not good.
Nah. But you know what does taste good is this Andre's pepper sauce because he should have seen this coming. You can get you some blessing right here. Now, this pepper sauce, it has his picture up here, Andre, and you can get you some sweet and spicy pepper sauce. They got the hot and the not so hot. Now, on the YouTube, you see the website below. You go to andrethefarmer.com, and this has all types of natural stuff in it. Pineapple, honey, jalapenos, onions, mangoes, rice vinegar, all types of delicious stuff. And you can get this today. And ain't you still running that special?
We are running a sale till Thanksgiving. It's buy two, get two free. Only on the website at andrethefarmer.com. All right.
Get you some today. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, I was just in the grocery store and a lady recognized me. It's an older lady, and she goes, I know you. Now, for those who don't know, I'm an orthodontist. So I've been orthodontist in Orlando for 24 years. And so a lot of people know me because I've treated them or I treated their kids or their grandkids or whatever. So that's usually how I get recognized locally. So she's like, I know you. And I'm thinking, oh, for sure, this is like some parent's mom or some parent's grandmom or some patient's like grandmom or something. And she goes, you're the farmer. I follow you. And she goes, I got to give you that pepper sauce. I said, yeah, you do. You do. Right now we got buy two, get two free.
And how good of a deal is that? Okay, you can get you some before the Thanksgiving comes. And you know, or maybe before Christmas. Let's say before Christmas.
No, you'll get it before Thanksgiving.
You'll get it before Thanksgiving. That's good. Because I will get some for my family, but they don't deserve it. So I'm going to keep some for myself. So this is dope. We got the people placing their orders. So house plants, outdoor plants, you name it, the gamut can be done when you are doing somebody's winter gardening. Because as we know, again, it's ice cold outside for me. I don't like any temperatures below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So while I do got my garlic outdoors, and this is a true statement, I cannot stand any temperature below 70 degrees. So when I am like, I need to take care of my garlic, that's the only reason that gets me out there. I was supposed to start cabbage collards weeks ago. It was cold, and I'm like, we're just not doing them this year. Like, that's just what it's going to be. That and my carrots. Those are the only things I got outside.
I feel on that. Speaking of cold, Dorwatha, she's in Minnesota, and her blueberry trees survive the winters in Minnesota. If they can survive Minnesota winters, zone 8, whatever, you're going to be really fine with them.
Speaking also of cold, she doesn't share her sauce, and that's also cold. She doesn't share her Andre sauce, so you better get you your own bottle rinsing around with her. Go ahead, though.
Sonia says she loves goji berries. Okay, hey, to each their own. I'm going to use the fish tank water to propagate and fertilize all your plants. Yeah, the fish tank is like, it's a small fish tank. Like I have a relatively large garden. I won't be able to get enough water out of that tank unless I want to. And then I'm going to track that through the whole house. And yeah, that's a messy proposition. But fish tank water, freshwater fish tank water is great fertilizer, great to water your plants with, though. It is really good.
Just, for some people, you just got to be careful depending on how many fish you have. I have a friend who has a pond in her backyard that she was using her fish water, her pond water, and it could have been the nitrates just from years of buildup or something else, but all of her plants ended up just tanking. It was terrible.
Really?
Yeah, she had a lot of fish in the bag. So I think it was just a mix of nitrogen, and these were like seedlings and like small plants. So I think it was just too much for them at one time. and she was just watering straight up pond water, like straight, no dilution at all. It was terrible.
That might have been intense, and it might have just been over and over again, just building up. Yeah, but in general, like once in a while, if you can give them a little bit of water from that freshwater fish tank, clarify that. Not a saltwater fish tank, freshwater fish tank.
I didn't know people use saltwater, but that would make sense. Please don't do that. Keep going though.
Yeah, like we have a saltwater tank here. Most of my tanks have always been saltwater. Let me see the questions. My sister-in-law was just here from Vegas. We ordered some snapper, and she said, "Where's Andre's pepper sauce?" All right. Do we have any non-pepper sauce questions?
We just go. Why they put these questions up? We keep on going. So, what are some things you do to get ready for winter gardening indoors? What are you doing when you're like, I got to get all this acreage planted out? What are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you what. Winter is actually a busy indoor time for me because I have a lot of cold-sensitive plants that I have to bring inside for the winter because I like pushing zones. So I like growing plants here that don't normally grow here. So if I have young soursops, young durian. I have a couple of durian seedlings right now. They are definitely going in the greenhouse. All the mango seedlings that pop up underneath the mango trees, I dig those up, put them in pots. I bring those in the greenhouse to overwinter just because they're so young. And if we get a freeze, they can just be unalive. Also, guess what I'm growing in my hydroponics right now?
Which one?
You'll never guess. Never guess.
Okay, it got to be something. You've told us this before. I can't remember now.
No. I haven't told you this.
Well, you haven't told us this?
Never. I could give you 100 plant guesses. You would never guess this one.
Ooh, okay. Is it soursop? Somebody said soursop.
No. Listen, I'm gonna let you guys in the comments try to figure out what I'm gonna give you a hint.
Yes.
Everybody's heard of this food.
Okay.
That this plant produces. Everybody's heard of it.
Cashew.
And you can get it in restaurants, and it's kind of a condiment.
Okay, it's kind of a condiment. You can get it in mustard, ketchup, relish, horseradish, a condiment. I don't know. We got mustard.
Sonia, water when dry. Not mustard. It's not mustard.
Hey, Shane.
I was messing up. It's not ginger. It's not ginger, but I'll tell you what. Ginger is close.
Turmeric.
No. It's not close. It's not close in the way you're thinking. Avocado, no. Not parsley, not parsley.
What is wasabi?
It's wasabi.
I kept saying horseradish earlier because I was like, that's what wasabi is. But I was like, no. The stuff in the stores, they usually don't give us the real stuff.
Right. Because when it's horseradish, that's not really wasabi.
Yes, that's all I could think of. Because I was like, I know it's horseradish, wasabi. There we go. Good deal.
Like I had a bunch of just seeds, and I said, let me just throw them in the hydroponics inside the little, what do you call those clay pebbles?
The leca.
The leca?
Yeah, leca.
All right, the leca. I had the leca. So I was like, you know what? Let me just throw a bunch of seeds, a bunch of different things. And the only thing that popped, because normally you start it in like the foam, like the
rock wool stuff.
The rock wool. I don't know the names of nothing. The rock wool, right. But I'm too lazy to do that. So I'm like, I'm just going to put some seeds in amongst these little lecas and see what pops up. And the only thing that popped up was the wasabi. Now, wasabi is a root, right?
Yes.
So I don't know how it's going to grow through the leca and through the cage of the thing. So I don't know if I need to transplant these now into like soil.
Now that's a good question. I would do depending on how many you have, I would do a couple in the leca to see how they look, and then a couple in soil.
All right, tomorrow I'm going to take some out of the leca and I'm going to put them in soil because I do have a couple pots with some soil in it that I could do it.
Yes.
Pink Panther's face is hurting from smiling so much. Do we get a half point for guessing it right? Yes, you get a half point.
But I'm glad you would, because I'd be like, no, y'all didn't get it right. I did. Okay, nobody gets half point.
Which variety? I don't know what variety. All I remember is that I had seeds labeled wasabi.
Yeah.
I don't know what variety it is. I've never. I don't. Thing is, I don't even like wasabi.
Really? I don't think I've had the real stuff. All I've had is the fake.
You know what? I don't think I would like the real. Well, to me, it tastes like Vicks Vapor Rub. Like, I feel like it's like.
Really?
I feel like it tastes like it should be a medicine and not a food. And I like spicy stuff. I like my sweet and spicy pepper sauce. But I feel like that just tastes like medicine. It doesn't taste like it should be a food.
Oh, that's very intriguing. I love wasabi, especially if I'm sick and my sinuses need to be cleaned out. And again, I know it's like horseradish, but I love that. I go and I will get a sushi roll and I will load that stuff up there. And the little people will be like, "Oh, sir, you got to be careful." And I'm like, "Y'all leave me be. I know what I'm doing." And I will just be like, "Wow, this is great." It just goes right through it. I'm like, I can breathe for 10 minutes maybe. And it'll be amazing. The most amazing thing in the world.
I can believe it does that because that's what it tastes like. It does that.
Yeah, the horseradish, but I've never had the real stuff that I know of. So
and everybody says, "Boo, know your plants, Professor Andre." Wasabi. I don't need to know what wasabi is. I don't even know where I got the seeds from. Someone might have sent me some wasabi seeds. I don't even know, but it was. I had a little plastic container that was labeled wasabi. And I was like, you know what? I'm never going to use these seeds for anything. Let me just throw them in the hydroponics, see if they grow.
Now you got me wondering. I got some old, and this is, again, we off topic, and I love it because I love getting off topic. It's hard to do with Andre because he likes to stay on the topic. But I have some old bulbs I got from the Walmarts when I had went there, and I would save all these old bulbs, and they are colocacias, elephant ears, right? And I planned on doing like an elephant ear, and because I love elephant ears, I love a good southern garden space, right? But I was like, you know what? I can do those indoors now. Let me give it a shot. So very soon, I'm going to like plant them up and see if I can just see what I get from a couple of these different varieties of elephant ear, since I do pretty much a decent job with a couple of them anyway, which they're kind of hard to do even in my space, and I keep it relatively warm in here, but the humidity be a little off of them. But it is what it is. I'm proud of you for growing these wasabis, though. That is amazing.
Thank you. Actually, speaking of elephant ears, we actually have a spot in Mexico where right now we have a bougainvillea, and it's not enough sun there for the bougainvillea, so it's not flowering. So we're going to take that out, and we're going to put elephant ears in there. It's actually beside a window where there's a bathroom, and the elephant ears would be great privacy there as well.
Yes,
and they don't need a lot of sunlight.
And especially if you did something like, and this is if you really wanted to show off and get privacy, there's a elephant ear called Cologasia gigantea, which is Thai queen or queen Thai, something like that, and it has these gigantonormous leaves. Like the plant, when watered and fertilized right, can get outrageously large.
Well, it's not a big space, but when you're in Mexico and you go to the nurseries, they don't label stuff like that. Like if you want to get like a mango tree, it will just say mango, right? I'm pretty sure that the elephant ears will say like elephant ears in Spanish, and it might not even say that. It'll say whatever they locally call the plant, and that will be it. Sometimes I buy plants from nurseries down there, and they don't know what it is. I got a sapodilla down there. Nobody there knew what the tree was. I was 90% sure it was a sapodilla. I'm still pretty sure it's a sapodilla. It's in the ground for a couple months and it's growing. So I'm hoping it's a sapodilla. But load it up. Let's see. Oh, Sonia, we already did your commercial. So, I know you missed it, but Sonia's Bug Spray, awesome stuff. Sonia'sBugSpray.com. One more thing. Do you have your retained spray?
Oh, I was going to wait until you did this other question. But and it was right beside me too, because with that, let me click the right button, because on the YouTube we got this ticker down and it's showing you what to do. You can get you some of this today. Now we're talking about starting stuff indoors. Andre's talking about upkeeping things and keeping stuff up, right? Because again, when you have 3,000 acres, this is what you do. But with your retained spray, you can get you some of this today, because when you're keeping your plants up indoor, outdoor, you need something to keep your tools clean. It cleans, it lubricates, it stops rust, and it sanitizes. Get you some of this today. I use it on my plants. Andre uses it. He does a hell of a lot of propagation of plants, and you need it. You need it, some type of sanitizer to make sure your tools are clean so your plants don't get mean. Get you some
Right.
Retain Spray today at retainspray.com, also available on Amazon and Walmart.
Now, the thing about the Retain spray is it's all natural. So if you are doing grafts, a lot of times, you can spray your stuff with WD-40 or whatever, but I feel like when you're cutting into the plants to do a graft or do an air layer or whatever you're doing, I just feel like having something that's all natural is going to be a little, less disruptive to the plant's biology in terms of trying to mend two cambiums together or grow roots or whatever you're trying to grow. Jen thinks that my taste buds are messed up because I don't like eating Vicks. Interesting.
Jen, you shouldn't say that. Your taste buds are not messed up. Wink, wink. Keep going.
There's so many varieties of elephant ears. Yeah, I made a video about elephant ears, but I made it about malanga and dasheen and a lot of the root crops that look just like elephant ears, but they're not elephant ears. But they grow leaves just like elephant ears, but they're not elephant ears because the roots of elephant ears are toxic. You can't eat that. And I'll tell you, I had to make so many follow-up videos because the whole video was about, instead of growing elephant ears, grow malanga or dasheen, which looks just like elephant ears, but you can eat the root. And then everyone was like, oh man, I've got that growing in my backyard right now. I'm going to go eat it. I'm like, no, you don't have it growing. You have elephant ears. It's toxic.
I thought elephant ears were edible because they were in Hawaii. They call them taro.
No, taro is not elephant ears.
Really? You done taught me
no.
The people.
This is the conversation that I had a million times.
This is great. I'm glad we're doing this.
Because taro, malanga, dasheen, all of them, they look like elephant ears. They grow leaves that look just like elephant ears, but they have edible roots. Elephant ears.
Okay. Yes, it's a specific. I was like, I did this, and the reason I knew this because it's a taro is a colocasia, but there's also different types. They've combined the families, which is where this is probably coming together because it used to be alocasia and colocasia. I knew a professor who would get special varieties because they were trying to grow different taro for different reasons, and they didn't care what they looked like. So you would get these elephant ears that look beautiful, but it's not showing the proteins I want. So they would just throw it away. Okay. He was like, no, there's like a horticultural value to that. And the guy was like, I don't care. We're trying to make these for food. And it's like, no, but like you could make money for your lab. And he's like, do whatever you want. So that's how they ended up getting some of these varieties. These these people because I'm trying to censor myself. We're going to go into the next topic. How do you recommend for fungus gnats? What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, like the elephant ears in Spanish, orejas de elefante.
Ooh, you better be speaking that language.
What are fungus gnats? I use a little bit of hydrogen peroxide mixed with water. That's traditionally what I've used.
I do that too. I do that. I will do actually straight up peroxide, to be honest. I will do 3% or 6%, sometimes 10%. I'm not telling you to do this, but I will sometimes go that hard for peroxide. I'll let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll rinse the soil out. This is especially something if I'm trying to like quickly get rid of a bunch of gnats during the summer or the spring where it's warmer, because I could just set the plant out and let it like drip and drain out outdoors. But I then have to like rebalance my soil biology because I basically wiped out all the microbes in the soil. It's something I don't really recommend, but it's like drastic. But typically, you get you a box or a bag of mosquito bits or mosquito dunks, right? Or some type of BT, Bacillus thuringiensis. And you mix that up in your water, your liquid, and you go about for what you know.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been actually at the office. I've been mixing in some mosquito dunks or whatever in the watering can, and that's what I water. But also water from underneath. And that's going to prevent the fungus gnats as well. Ooh. So, I have trays underneath all of my pots in the office, and I just sort of fill the trays up and let the water just sort of come up from the bottom. It also encourages your roots to go deep as well in your pots. My grandma always started seeding fruits during the winter, vegetables in the spring, and greens during the fall. Well, all that depends on where your grandmother lived, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming she lived in a fairly warm climate to start greens in the fall, right? Because for most people, it's almost done.
And it was, your grandmother. So your grandmother lived in a different climate than we do now, because with climate change, things are shifting.
Yep, they're not taro, but also so many indoor varieties of colocaceas and alocasias. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, colocasia, alocasia.
Yep, okay. Taking notes. I brought my potted foxglove inside. Will it survive indoors? Also, can bees carry aphids or spider mites from plant to plant? My foxglove had the worst infestation this summer, and I wondered if it was the bees. Wow, what do you think? Do you know what a foxglove is?
Yeah, foxglove is a type of plant, digitalis. It's a beautiful plant, but it can be poisonous, so you have to be careful not to eat it or anything like that. Phenomenal plant. Unless I'm thinking of monkshood, we're going to see in a second. I feel like foxglove is digitalis. Foxglove, bearded foxglove, which is Penstemon digitalis. Ha ha! Boom! Go botany.
Nailed it.
So with that, they are beautiful, but with bees, while I know there are pests to bees that they can carry different mites and stuff, I don't think they would connect or carry other insects. These insects, when you're getting pests around your plants and you're trying to figure out where they're coming from, you have to think about it in the same way that some group of people traveled from Europe to America ever long ago to bring people over here, right? And they brought all the animals and fungi and plants or whatever they brought as they were traveling. Is the same way that you could be incidentally traveling, or anything could be incidentally traveling, and bring that mite or that aphid. You could have brought another plant in. You could have already had an issue. It could have already been on the plant outdoors. Now it's indoors, and there's no predators bothering that foxglove and bothering now the aphids and the mites. They're like, this is it. This is house party for insects, right? So you just have to consider those things. Like these pests, they live to figure out how to survive, like everything else does. So they will find those plants, even if you think this is way off and I've never seen this before. And a good example is I live on the second floor of an apartment complex. I had collards that I was growing. Again, I uprooted them because of why they were covered in caterpillars and worms. Covered. How did they get all the way up here on the second floor? Who's to say? I'm not going to figure it out. But when I set everything on fire, I felt better.
Was it bees? Did bees bring them up there maybe?
The bees did, because they were like buzz, buzz, and they just dropped them. No. It's literally things are crawling around trying to survive. And once something figures out and tells the rest, that's it.
I just saw a message. Gray said he's on his way.
He's here. He's here.
Is he here? Real?
Now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just seeing
howdy, gentlemen.
Come on up. Come on the Instagram, Gray.
Gray,
oh, we're doing it on both?
We're on Instagram too.
Yeah, come on Instagram
too. I hope you've been sitting there a while, Gray.
That's where you got to come first. Gray's like, I'm going to catch the last 10 minutes.
Gray y'all wouldn't even believe what Gray was up to today. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you, as a person who has 100 acres, he had to go and walk all of his land to make sure it was good at weed. And he did that by foot.
Gray, what's going on, brother?
Howdy. Hold on just a second. Got to get all my audio and stuff.
I hear you on Instagram. Are you good?
Okay, can y'all hear me okay?
Because I see your thing on YouTube.
I can't hear him anywhere.
Can't hear me anywhere?
I hear you now.
There we go. All right.
Look at you, the voice. I'm glad you are here.
The voice is here. What's going on, man?
Guys, I am so sorry. It's hard when you're Superman because you have to do everything. Wife had an emergency problem with a car, so I had to run out and go take care of it. I left my cape in the laundry.
Hey, speaking of cars, my truck is in the shop right now. I think it might be the end.
Oh no.
What is it doing?
When I was driving this morning, it was like it's like it almost didn't want to like get into gear. Like it was really kind of just struggling to get going, like it was kind of slipping, I guess, or something. I don't know.
Okay, well, I tell you this, after this live, you give me a quick call and I'll try to see if I can figure out what's going on, because it could be a slip in transmission or something, but it could be something basic like changing out your spark plugs or something like that, maybe. So
Well,
I'll get some more information from you.
Well, listen, it's in the shop right now already, so it's already in the shop.
Well, he's just gonna tell you, take the help. I would take the free help. He can tell you what's up.
I'll take the free help. I'll take the free help.
So these car people don't get you and run you amok. So we've been talking about winter gardening in gray. Somebody earlier asked about Hoyas because they had a Hoya that had some yellow spots or something. Do you grow Hoyas?
I did have Hoyas. I had Hoyas up until last year, and my Hoyas were doing fantastic. But unfortunately, tree rats took care of my Hoyas. They completely dug up squirrels.
Oh,
they dug up my Hoyas, and that was the end of them. I had them for like 3 seasons. They were doing fantastic, but yeah, they KO'd my Hoyas.
So what would be a solution? Someone said they have a yellow spot on their Hoyas. What would be a solution for that?
Well, first we need to make sure that it's not disease, because last year, it depends on how old these Hoyas are, because last year there was a disease epidemic going on with all Hoyas that were being sold in all big box stores. So make sure it isn't any disease going on. So, I mean, honestly, the best thing would be sending us a picture too, because, just going off a description is really hard. If you would like to email me, whoever that viewer was, if you'd like to email me at Urban Gardening with Gray. What's my email address? urbangardeningwithgray@gmail.com, and send me a picture so we can kind of assess what's going on before we just jump to any kind of crazy conclusions,
Yeah, that was JLBC, so hopefully they're still here. But this is great.
Oh, that's Jen. Jen, email me about the Hoyas, or send me on Better Gardener.
That wasn't Jay's question. That wasn't Jen's question.
No,
Jen commented on it, but it wasn't her question.
Oh,
okay.
Well, maybe it was that Pink Panther. And Pink Panther keeps saying it's me. Never mind.
Pink Panther.
Okay. Pink Panther, email me some pictures.
All right.
This is great.
Sweet Mama Claytor says,
Yeah.
Gray, I live in Denton, Texas, so we're in the same zone. What would be good to plant right now?
Well, Sweet Mama Clater, I was just up in your neck of the woods like Sunday. So I was just up out in Denton. You could honestly, I mean, one thing I want to say, we're about to get a cold snap coming through next week. We're about to get a real rough cold snap coming through the week of Thanksgiving. And it's going to be hitting harder that first week in December. So now may not be a real good time to plant anything unless you really have some winter protections going on. Because even if you started with some of your brassicas, your cilantros and so forth, that cold snap is going to be so immediate, it might kill off anything that will be starting to germinate. So what I would recommend is maybe starting to use some broccoli in containers inside this week, because trying to put anything out right now, it won't be able to establish itself enough to really be able to survive this cold that's supposed to be coming through.
How cold is it supposed to get there?
I don't know an exact temperature, but it's a front that's coming down from your neck of the woods, from Canada, and it's a front that's supposed to be coming down pretty good, and we will potentially have some frost warnings coming in for sure. Yeah.
Now,
so I would start them inside first.
All right. We're talking about indoor plants and house plants. Greg, what is your favorite house plant to grow?
It changes depending on my mood. It varies. It varies from my Monstera deliciosas. And the reason why I say them, I know that the deliciosas isn't the the premier ones like the elbow or the Thai constellations or the half moon, right? But the Monstera deliciosa, I love it so much because I propagate this thing like 200 times. Like seriously, out of my greenhouse right now, I have 40 Monstera deliciosas that I'm preparing to start selling online. So if you want some Monstera deliciosas, you want to hit me up, you can have your very own piece of urban garden engraved with you. But yeah, I love the deliciosas because they're easy to manage. They look amazing, and then they're so easy to propagate and make more of. And you know, more plants is always better, in my opinion.
And if you wait long enough, you can get a fruit.
And you can get a fruit. That's right.
Jen asked about her Cuban oregano. The cold kind of pulls it out. If it was in the ground and it's established, it should bounce back. Like when it's cold here, mine sort of looks like trash for a little while, but then it just comes back stronger than ever. So yeah, it's hard to end it. Now, Gray, if someone wanted to condition their soil to grow a plant, what would be a good way for that person to do that sort of thing?
I would say by using a sponsor, Thryve Roots, and that's available on Thryve, spelled with a Y, T-R. Let me spell THRYVE, ThryveRoots.com. And they're also available at Thryve Roots Squad on Instagram. Check them out. It's a really good soil conditioner. It's an OMRI listed soil conditioner and root stimulator. All of those Monstera propagations that I was telling you guys about, I use Thryve Roots to condition that soil. And they have some, you know what? We're talking about soil. We're talking about roots. I just want to show you the results of what roots look like when you're using Thryve Roots, okay?
Go ahead and do that, because those of you on YouTube, remember, you're seeing on the banner how to spell this. For those of you, maybe next week we'll have it where you can see the banner on top, but he's going to show you these roots. Let's see it.
All right, so this is one of my Marble Queen pothos, and I'm going to just pull it up out of here because, I mean, I do have the, well, no, you can see it here. Look, we're going to look on Instagram first, okay? Let me get over by the camera. These roots are nice, thick, healthy. Look at those roots.
They are.
This has been given a strict regimen of Thryve Roots and water. And I started propagating this, I want to say about maybe 2 or 3 months ago. And so this just came off as a cutting. And here's on Instagram. Look at those roots.
That is beautiful. And they should look
and
like
that's from
that,
using
guys.
Thryve Roots.
Thryve Roots. When you got good roots, the rest of your plants will be phenomenal. Okay. So we've been talking about winter gardening. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Andre.
I was going to say, it all starts with the roots. Go on.
We've been talking about winter gardening, and we have the premier master gardener. When we're talking about, you know, indoor gardening, house plants, seedlings, or whatever, what will you give the people? What can you tell the people, Sir Gray, to be able to give them some hope and some wisdom? Again, because you know you are my favorite master gardener.
Well, I thank you. But I'm not sure. What do you ask me? What would I give them for what?
For indoor gardening, like during the winter, like we're preparing for winter, whatever you may be doing with your house plants, whatever you may be doing with seedlings, what would you tell the people?
Well, I would say this is a time. All right, guys. Now, you know, I love gardening. It's my piece. You know, you guys who follow me know that this is what gives me joy. And so, yeah, during these winter months, I like to pull back and take everything indoors in greenhouses and so forth. But I'm going to tell you something. The main thing that you want to do, if you have anything indoors, is back up off of your watering, back up off of your care. Stop your fertilizing. Stop, you know, slow down drastically on your water. This is something that I like to say. It's from an ancient philosopher by the name of Lao Tzu. He says the Wu way, right? Do without doing. And that's what you want to do when you're going to your gardening indoors. Back up off of it. Don't do too much, because this is a time when you can easily get heavy-handed with that watering and you're drowning your plants because you're so used to those summer temperatures. Calm down, because you're not going to be getting as much growth and they're not going to need any fertilizer right now. So some Thryve Roots would be great in this situation, but back up off the watering. That's the best advice I can give you right now.
All right. Well, that's great advice, Greg. Sorry we only had you for a short minute here, but we are out of time. We will be back again next Tuesday. You guys have any parting words for people?
It's been amazing speaking with you as always. And if you need me, send me an email, send me a DM. I'm always here to help you.
All right, Derek.
Oh, I don't know what happened.
I don't know if you're muted or what. I can't hear you. On Instagram, you looks like you're gone.